Hi everybody, my name is Nate Langford. I'm one of the acupuncturists that works in the Catherine A. Gallagher Integrative Therapies program at the MGH Cancer Center. I'm here today to show you some techniques for acupressure that you can use at home for some self-care for stress management. What you guys may or may not know is that acupuncture and acupressure have been around for a really long time, over 2,000 years in fact, and they originated in China. They later spread throughout Asia and now throughout most of the world. And what the Chinese discovered a long time ago is that there are many connections throughout the body that can be accessed from the surface of the body that connect with the internal aspect of the body and also areas that are far away from the area that you're actually accessing. And they use those for a comprehensive medical system that they used for many, many, many years to help with all kinds of complaints. And I'm going to show you some points today that will help with certain complaints for stress management. Now, before we get started on anything else, I want to talk to you a little bit about technique because that'll be the sort of foundation of what we're working on today. And in fact, acupressure technique is very, very simple. All you really need to do is apply some pressure. So if you wanted to actually practice a little bit with me, we're just going to work on our hand really quickly. We're going to use this sort of meaty area of the body where we're going to actually find a point in just a little bit. But this is a great place to sort of gauge your pressure that you're going to be using. Now, when we're doing acupressure technique, we only need to use gentle to medium pressure. You never need to do anything uncomfortable or anything that evokes any sort of pain response. So what I'm going to have you do is just press here with the meat of your hand and just use your thumb here and just press in and just get a sense of what the pressure kind of feels like. Now, there might be a point where you sort of feel like it's a little bit more tender than others, and that'll give you an even better sense of kind of where the pressure needs to be at. So again, you want to work for gentle to medium pressure, but never go into hard pressure because that's not necessary. All you're really looking for is enough pressure to engage the tissue and activate the point. Typically with these techniques, you're going to be holding the point for about 2 minutes. You don't really need anything more than that, and usually having a little bit of extra time than just a momentary stimulation will be more therapeutically important. Also, a thing that you want to consider is instead of just pressing on a point like this to try to activate it, use a little bit of support in your hand when you're doing that, because that'll actually make it a more comfortable experience. So for example, if you're going to be pressing with your thumb here, you want to be holding the back of your hand like this just to give a little bit of leverage as well, and that'll actually be ultimately more comfortable. If you want to use your index finger, for example, no problem. Just press in like this, and then you can support with your thumb right behind there. And in terms of actual technique that you use, you only need to hold the point, really. If you want to do a little bit of gentle massage technique, that's also okay as well, whatever feels most comfortable to you. So let's get into the points then. So let's stay in the same area where we were just at. We're going to find something a little bit more specific than we just did. So here is a point that we call large intestine 4. And this is a point we use a lot for stress management, especially if it feels like the stress is causing the emotions to get kind of bound up in the body. If you're starting to notice some like neck and shoulder tension, headaches, or any other sort of like tension types of symptoms, this is a really good point that we use very frequently for that. It's also a great headache point as well, especially if the headaches are in the front of the head as well. So feel free to use this technique for that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to still use the same area that we just located our practice in. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually be putting your thumb next to your index finger, and you're going to kind of see this hill form right here. And what you're going to want to do is just look at this hill and just find the highest point on that hill, which will be like right about here, and then just relax your hand, and then you found the point. And it's going to be roughly kind of in the middle of that triangle, if you think about where the bones are coming through in here and where the edge of the skin is here. It's going to be more or less like right in the middle there. That's going to be your point. And you'll notice as you sort of do a little bit of pressure here that it can be a little bit tender, so you don't want to ever get into the area of pain. But if you want to sort of find where it feels like it activates most, that's a good pressure to be at. Otherwise, you can definitely do gentle pressure here as well, because there's no prize for pain, as we say. So this is pretty much where the point's at here. Again, if you're going to be using our thumbs, we're going to support with the back of our hand on our palms. Or if you're going to use your index, you can support with your thumb right there. And you're going to hold that again for 2 minutes. It can be found the same way on the other side. So just find the high point, relax, and then do your acupressure. So that's the first point that we're going to find. So our next point that we're going to be doing is called pericardium 8, and it's going to be found near the center of the hand, and it's pretty easy to locate overall. We use this point a lot for stress and also for anxiety, especially if we've gotten really whipped up about something, if we're having a really hard time sleeping. It could also be if there's areas of tension, if you're having nightmares or things like that. So again, on the palm, what you're going to do to find this point is you're going to make just a loose fist with your fingers, and where your third finger lands is going to be where that point is located. So you'll see where it is sort of in relationship to the center of the hand, which is more here. This point is going to be just slightly towards the index finger. And again, so you can use your index finger or you can use your thumb to access this point, and you're going to just support on the back of the hand to make it more comfortable. This point can be a little bit exciting too if you press too hard, so again, gauge your strength here and don't go too crazy. No need to put your anxiety into actually feeling the point as well. Just a nice gentle technique will be fine. And actually that leads us to sort of an interesting consideration, is sort of setting the mood for what you're doing here, because we really want to support stress management and actually relaxation through this entire process. So we just want to make sure that we're also sort of setting the stage for success in that regard. So if you have the ability to actually find a place within your house that's a little bit more quiet, a little bit further away from any sort of distractions, any screens, anything like that, just to kind of help you get back into yourself. The great part about acupressure is that because you're stimulating parts of your body, you're going to be able to sort of also get your mind back in your body, because I think that we can sometimes get so spinning out in our minds. This also reminds us to actually get back into our bodies and feel what's going on. So doing these techniques and also sort of setting the stage will help with the stress management aspect altogether. You can really easily do this in the bath. You could do this just lighting some candles, doing some deep breathing techniques that you may know. Anything that would help with relaxation and calm can be added into this to sort of make it your own unique experience. And hopefully it will help out. And feel free as well to use these acupressure points multiple times throughout the day. You don't have to do them just once. You can do them multiple times. But again, you only need about 2 minutes on each point to actually do some good. I urge you to check out some of these other videos on the channel because we got some other great self-care techniques that my colleagues are going to be doing for you as well. In the meantime, I thank you all for watching, and I wish you the best of health and wellness.